Hey, coming back with it's not a dream, it's not a vision, just understanding from the Holy Spirit, revelations, things God has shown me um, in the past couple of months. So recently, He's been showing me the word preserve and remnant. This has been words that have been repeatedly brought to me over months, and each time He shows me a different meaning and a different layer of it. So as we know, preserve means to keep something from being interfered with, protected, put away, to keep it in a certain state it's already in. Then you have remnant, which is more so out of this many, these are the remnant based on this many. It's the minority out of the majority. But it gets so much deeper than that, but that's something you can look up the definitions, and please do. In this video, please just look up what these two words mean, and it's going to give you so much more understanding of what God has been showing me and how it all just makes sense. So recently, if you didn't see my dream I posted yesterday, please go check it out because this correlates with it. This is something that God is now showing me is like a more of a series of things. It's not just a dream and that's it, but this is something He's connecting dots and making a more of a bigger revelation than I thought it was. So we'll see where He goes with me in this, and if He wants me to keep making videos about this, we'll see. But so far, remnant, God has been showing me it's a tucked away. We're being tucked away in His pocket. We're being put away in a safe place that can't be found, that can't be touched, that is only known by God. This is spiritual, but this will be physical soon. But right now, spiritually, we're being tucked away and hidden, not involved so much with the world, or to a minimum. And He wants that, and He has to keep that because He can't have anything find out what's going on with us, what we're doing, how we're being changed, how we're being molded, how we're being shaped. And then you have what is the preserved, and this is how He keeps it from being tainted. This is where we are being sealed. It's more of a sealing of, okay, this one is marked as mine, this one isn't, this one's marked as a certain purpose of mine, and this one isn't. So elaborating on that, when he showed me that this is a certain type of purpose, let's say someone is being marked as a prophet. So that person has already been marked as a prophet, while someone else is being marked as interpreter of tongues. So this is where you're being preserved. You're in a lane and no one else can touch that lane. Also, it means being sealed in the promise. Everyone's promised something by God. Everyone has a promise by something by God, whether they know it or not. God has given all of us promises, and He's going to keep them. With that being said, every promise is not the same for everybody. Not everyone is destined to be a pastor or a teacher or a shepherd or anything like that. Some are promised other things. Now, in this promise, you're sealed in it. You have been given this pathway that no one else can walk. You and you alone are only going to be touching the ground of this path. So you're sealed in that direction. What else He's been showing me about this is that when we are confirmed as His, we're also confirmed not of the world. And so when this type of confirmation happens, we are then set apart, put away, and given a new thing, a new name, a new position, a new territory, a new purpose. Then He started showing me that this is more geared towards what's coming up soon. He's been showing me that when we are sealed, we're actually being sealed in a way where it's an ordinance. We're being ordained. And to ordain something, you have to make sure that that person and that person alone receives what they're being ordained for. So this is where, you get preserved, and then you get sealed, but then you're also in a different, You're in a way where you're going to be ordained in a way that only you can be ordained to. So what comes next is, let's say, David. He was ordained to be king. And he was ordained by God himself to say, okay, you're going to lead Israel. You're going to be the king of that whole land. This is you. Now, in order for him to be in that position, he had to be orchestrated, molded, and shaped, and preserved as a remnant, as someone who can't be interfered with anything else to get to that point. So sometimes what God is doing now, and I'm experiencing it, he'll divinely take you out of your place you're supposed to be in. Let's say God has promised you, I'm going to put you in some kind of exaltation position at your job. And then he promised this years ago to you. And then he automatically takes you out and gives you no job at all. So when that happens, what God is doing, he's saying, I'm preparing you. You have to be prepared outside of the position that you're ordained for to be put in a position to do what I want you to do. Because I'm not going to throw you in a position you can't do right. So I have to train you outside of it and then put you in it. And so that's what's happening now with a lot of people. That a lot of people are getting divinely misplaced to be placed in where God is saying they're going to be in. And it doesn't make sense at first, but once you go through it and you see it and looking back on it, you're like, okay, I needed to go through it. So then he started showing me that when it comes to we as a church, there's even a division happening in there. God is dividing those who need to be divided. If you're in the church and you're halfway in it and halfway not, you're being divided somewhere else. If you're in the church and you're actually saying, okay, I love you, God, I am about you, you're my only thing, you are the pinnacle of my life and always will be, then you're divided. You're being placed in certain congregations, in certain groups. And this may come to even physical stuff where he may say, okay, God, God will say, you are in this church. This church is not what I like. This church is not doing well, or it's not seeking my face as I want it to. I'm going to take you outside of this church and place you somewhere else where there's a ton of believers, there's plenty of believers there who are seeking my face to give you a gift. This morning, the Holy Spirit was showing me that he is divinely moving people out the church or placing them in the church. He's doing this orchestration right now where he's taking people outside the church and saying, okay, this church is not for you. You are of me and you are seeking my face, so leave. This isn't where you're supposed to be. And then he's saying, okay, you who are of me and are in the right church, bring more. Go find the ones who are seeking me and bring them here so they can be blessed. So he's doing this because he's about to judge the church, like really soon. I don't know when, I have no time frame, but this is what the Holy Spirit is showing me, is that before he has to judge the church, he's got to move all those who are his to a different location. And if they don't move, he's going to seal them in that location as well. It's like saying, okay, Zach, me, you're of God and you're seeking the face of God and you want to know more about God, you're seeking him, you love him, you're all about Jesus. But the rest of your congregation isn't. So what I'm going to do is, I have to judge this church, and this church will be judged. It will be held accountable, but you, in the midst of this, won't be touched by the judgment. And so what he'll do is he'll divinely seal you. You may see 1,000 faults to your left, 1,000 faults to your right, but you won't be touched by whatever judgment comes. That's what's happening too. And so now God is doing this big, huge orchestration right now, where he's moving people, he's placing people, he's not placing people. He's leaving some of the body who are of him, who are seeking him, in those bad churches. He's leaving them there and keeping them there for a reason. He's not telling them to leave yet, but he's keeping them there to show them, give them account, and also maybe they can come back. But so this is what he's been showing me today, and more so, this is something that he has to finish before the judgment of the church happens. We're a lot closer than we think to it. I really don't know when. I just know right now the Holy Spirit showing me that we're a lot closer, that this is something really quick about to happen. It's not going to be a long drawn out process. When God comes to judge, he's doing it swiftly. He's never judged for thousands of years. God has always judged real quick and gone back to business. He's not someone to be angry for a long time. He only gets his anger out and he goes back to doing what he wants to do in his purpose. Anger isn't his motive. Judgment really isn't his motive. It's something he does because he's righteous and he has to. So that being said, that's it. This may actually continue. From what I'm understanding now, the Holy Spirit may be showing me that there's more of things to come with this revelation. I'm more than willing. And so if I come back, you know what it's about. If I don't, then I guess this is it. So y'all have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later.